Governor Kim Reynolds delivers the annual Condition of the State address. Once again, it'll be over the dinner hour at 6 rather than the traditional 10 a.m. Now, besides campaigning, the governor has rarely included any official events on her public schedule since the fall, but this address Tuesday will be a high-profile public moment. She will try for a third time to get her party to agree to divert millions of tax dollars to private schools. A supporter says the COVID-19 pandemic has changed opinions on this.
School closures and virtual learning, I think parents became a lot more aware of what was going on, and some parents felt like they didn't have any choice as to how their child was being educated at that point. They saw close up what the curriculum was, what kids were learning, and I think they just got a lot more motivated, and this movement got a lot more inertia from that parents are really moving this, and parents are going to the polls here the last couple of election cycles and making some changes and making their thoughts known.
The governor has talked about that this is all about fairness, making sure families can have the ability to send their kids to private schools. Now, private schools do offer financial aid for folks, so why is this additional tax money necessary?
The financial aid doesn't even begin to cover the need that is out there. We've had the school tuition organization program for a while as well, but we see that the STOs, as they're called, are just overwhelmed with families needing assistance. And we've got lower income families looking for assistance, as well as middle income families that don't qualify for existing financial aid, nor can they afford to pay tuition on their own. So this will go a long way to helping.
But fair or unfair, we have a lot of things in our society that some people can afford, other people cannot, right? So why should this be different? Like, you can't afford as big a house maybe as somebody has, a car, healthcare a lot of times is dependent on how much money you have. Why should education be different, treated differently?
Well, I think some of those things are luxuries, really. And education is not a luxury. And an education that equips a child for success is just a necessity. And we need to make sure that every child is able to learn in a place that best suits their needs and equips them for future success.
Some public school supporters say private schools have different rules. They don't have to allow in certain kids that public schools do. So at one level, that's just not fair.
Well, the non-public schools in Iowa are accredited, a large majority of them, which is really unusual across the country, that they do have a lot more accountability to the state and have to provide a lot more information. They're also accountable to the parents and have that transparency there as well. But I think the focus really needs to turn to the families and being able to choose which type of education, whether it's public or private, homeschool or virtual school, that we need to focus on the families and not as much on the schools.
What about the families who will remain in public that will take dollars away from those schools?
Well, in other states that we've seen education savings accounts and programs like it, there's never a mass exodus. States, for example, New Hampshire's been around with 4 or 5 years with an ESA, and they have 1% of kids maybe that transferred over. So we're talking about that spread across the entire state and all the buildings and all the classrooms. It's really not going to be a major difference or a major impact to public school families as well.
So as we look ahead to next week, Governor does her Condition of the State. What would your wish list be? What do you want to see this package look like? She's tried twice before. Last year made some changes, wasn't enough to get the party to go along here. What would you like to see this package look like?
We would love to see universal school choice, really, so that any family could get an education savings account, something to help toward non-public school education, and maybe it could include homeschool and other options as well. So that
just to back up one sec, so would this be dollars follow the kid kind of concept, that no matter what path you choose, the money that would have educated you in public, that set amount goes with you, or?
Yes, or
Not to put words in your mouth.
yes, or some portion of that. In previous bills, it's been, maybe 70 to 80% or something of that school or the state funding, and then the local and federal funding would stay with the original public school.
This is related, unrelated, but you mentioned COVID earlier in your conversation, in our conversation here. Student behavior has really been a challenge for a lot of schools since the lockdown, kids getting shut out, a lot of factors at play there. While this may not be directly involved in this conversation, is that also a big factor in private schools? And are you seeing, how are they adjusting to that, dealing with that?
To my understanding, they're not seeing it as much, but of course they have a smaller population as well. So I think it's hard to tell, but we're seeing that trend everywhere with increase in anxiety and depression and behavioral problems with kids since the pandemic. It's a real thing.
Back to the funding, how are you watching other states? So as you look at other states that have already done this, do you see a state that you like and go, they got it figured out?
Yeah, I think West Virginia is certainly one that stands out to us, that it's a very broad program. It's truly an education savings account. New Hampshire is another one that's kind of
West
like...
West Virginia's not income dependent?
That's correct. And New Hampshire has, kind of like we do, they had an existing STO and then added on an education savings account on top of that. Those are income qualified, similar to what was in last year's bill from the governor.
Obviously, your families are supportive of this. When we look at statewide polls, I don't know that the population as a whole is behind this yet. How are you trying to move people?
Just putting it to the family and student level. This is going to make a big difference to a few families. It's not going to be devastating to the public schools at all. Public schools in Iowa are great, and they serve most kids, and they will continue to do so. But for those families that need some other options, I think it's critical that we have a program like this for them.
So for some of the rural legislators the last couple of years have talked about, hey, this conversation's great, but where I live, there's no option here under the way it was set up before. Is there a way to put this together so this somehow benefits them? Other than moving to Des Moines or Cedar Rapids or whatever?
Right. But, it would be good to have an option for all families, no matter where they live. So some potential ways it could be crafted is to offer or allow transportation costs to be included if a family needed to drive a little further to reach a non-public school, or to include homeschool and some expenses, to cover some expenses toward that, to allow those families in the very rural areas to be able to have some choice as well.
Do you see some other states, I believe, have these little kind of mini co-ops? Could that be an option for these smaller towns where you have a parent maybe doing 6 kids or something, where it's sort of a mini home, or a bigger homeschool, if you will?
Yes, definitely. And we've seen a lot of that in other rural states, like Indiana comes to mind, that they're doing. I think a lot of them call them learning pods, and some homeschool families come together, and you might trade off on who's teaching.
We'll see where this goes this year. Up next, where some Iowa high school students want lawmakers to focus on their safety.